Now I know I haven't done many book reviews in a few months, and all of a sudden I'm doing 2 in the same week. Well, that's just because that's when they were published. So before I get into today's, I do want to announce a winner for last week's, Tim Camisa's Tying Nymphs. And congratulations to David McKeska. David, send me an email, I'll get the book in the mail to you. So today's review is Barry Ord Clarke's latest, The Featherbenders Advanced Fly Tying Techniques. Now it's a follow-on for his original fly tying techniques, which was put out just a few years ago. So the basics of this one, just published January 2025 by Skyhorse, 256 pages. It's not really broken down into chapters unless you consider each pattern kind of a chapter, of which there are 28 different patterns in it. They are mostly nymphs and dries, a few that you'd consider a wet fly, and then 1 streamer. And before he gets into the ties, he's got 27 pages of mostly basics, hooks, all about hooks and then materials and proportions, kind of the things you'd expect to see in, most how-to fly tying books. Now about the flies, there are a few in here you will have heard of, say a CDC Mayfly Dunn, a Hare's Ear, or Madam X. But there are quite a few in here that you may never have heard of, and I would consider them, fairly advanced flies. All the sections are laid out similarly. Let's look at the Welshman's button as an example. There's a page or 2 about the fly, maybe the etymology or the history, and he talks about some of the techniques that you will learn when tying this fly. Then at least a couple of pages of very detailed step-by-step instructions, and then of course a beautiful picture of the final fly, of which mine will never look like, but it's good inspiration, something to aim for. And like his last book, he does have a QR code that you can scan if you want to watch him tying this thing, which I think is one of the coolest things about the book. And another cool thing is just the outright number of advanced techniques you can learn, like making extended bodies out of elk hair or CDC, or a 2-tone body, or CDC split wings, or all fur wet flies. Literally dozens of techniques you can learn. And while I can say this is a very well done, thoughtful book, who exactly is this for? This is not a book that I would recommend for a new tyer or a brand new tyer, certainly not as your first book. Barry's other book would be a good one for that. But if you've been tying for a few years and you have all the basics down and you want to take your tying game to the next level, you can definitely do that with this one. Or if you're just a fly tying book nerd like me, it's probably worth having on your shelf. Now it's not necessarily a cheap book. You can get it on Amazon today for $34. And if this is the kind of book you're looking for with some really cool advanced techniques in it, I think it's definitely worth the price. Now, since Barry was nice enough to send me a copy that I can give away on the channel, let's do that now. And if you're new here, how we do that, just leave a comment. Anywhere in your comment, put Barry, B-A-R-R-Y. Sometime next week, I'll go to the random comment picker and we'll select a winner. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care. See you in a couple days.